Hey guys, so this video was requested by one of you, and before we get started, I have to show you my shirt. My favorite show that I streamed this whole past year was Wednesday, and I found this at Old Navy. On Wednesdays, we wear black. I think Jenna Ortega, the actress that plays Wednesday, is just brilliant in that show. She is so good. And I think the writing for the show, the special effects, everything is wonderful, and I can't wait for season 2, which will be out sometime in 2024. But anyway, yeah, this video was requested by one of you, and so I'm going to be talking about my weight loss and maintenance, and I have lost 28 pounds. So if you round it off, I've lost 30, but I don't plan on losing any more. I'm very comfortable at the weight I'm at. I feel right about where I should be. I started off at 165 and I now weigh 137. And yeah, I don't really want to lose any more because this is a weight that I feel comfortable at. So little did I know that when I lost all this weight, I was going to have to go out and buy a ton of clothes. Um, I've had to replace a lot of my clothes because everything was just ridiculously big on me. But anyways, how did I do it? And why did I do it? Well, let's go back several months ago. And I had made the decision that I wanted to lose weight, and I lost 10 pounds. I had a stroke. I was in the hospital, and when I got out of the hospital, while I was in the hospital, they told me that my cholesterol was way too high, and so they put me on a statin drug. And because I was dieting and trying to lose weight, between the changes I made with the food I was eating and the statin drug, when I went to the doctors a few weeks later, my cholesterol went from being super high to being normal. So that was under control. But then they told me my blood pressure was too high. And when I was in the hospital, it wasn't too high, but like the doctor said, I was just laying in bed, not moving and not living. So once you go back to everyday life, that's really, what your blood pressure really is. So he wanted me to take my blood pressure every day and come back in a month. And if it was still high, he wanted to put me on high blood pressure medications. So I got the blood pressure under control and I showed him all my numbers because I wrote them down. I showed him the paper and he said, okay. He said, you're doing everything you can possibly do. And I think you can keep this under control provided you keep doing what you're doing. What was I doing? I was dieting and exercising. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Exercise is very, very important in terms of weight loss and your overall health. If you want to lose a significant amount of weight, and to me, 28 pounds is a significant amount of weight, it's always good to consult with your doctor. And I did talk to my doctor about what I was doing in terms of changing my diet, and he had recommended something else, but this is working for me, and I'm living proof that what I've been doing is working. But, it's a very individual thing, and you have to do what you feel comfortable with. I'm not telling anybody, oh, do what I say and then you'll lose weight or whatever. Just listen to what I have to say and consider it and do what you want or what you and your doctor decide upon. It's always good to get their opinion if you want to start on something like this. And so, because I was trying to get my blood pressure under control, what I did was I was very careful about salt because salt seems to be the thing with me with blood pressure, that and stress. Now, stress is very hard to manage in your life because you never know what's going to happen, and other people bring stress into your life and you can't control what other people do. And so you just have to try to take things as they come and manage it as best you can. However, exercise is really important. So make sure that I get 30 minutes minimum of exercise every day. I would normally walk if I can, and I just walk outside in my neighborhood. And if it's raining or it's cold or, snow will be coming before you know it. If I can't walk outside because of the weather, then I do step aerobics. Um, I have an old, does anybody remember Wii Fit from the old Nintendo Wii system? Well, I have one of those boards and I just set it in the middle of the living room floor, put YouTube on, and watch YouTube videos and just keep stepping up on the board and down, up and down and up and down. And that's what I'm calling step aerobics. And I just, walk up and down the board as I'm watching YouTube videos to kill the time. And I just set a timer for 30 minutes. And sometimes I even set it for a little bit longer than that, depending on how my weight is. That's another thing. I weigh myself every single day, and they always tell you not to do that, but how else are you going to know what kind of progress you're making? And if you gain weight, you want to think about, okay, what did I eat yesterday and how much did I eat? Because that's another really key factor is portion control. When I was overweight, I would put food on my plate and not even think about how much I was eating or when to stop. So you have to find out what normal portion sizes are because otherwise you're probably eating too much. Because if you eat until you're satisfied, it's been shown that if you eat until you're satisfied, you're going to eat more than what you actually should. These are all things that you need to learn and then maintain over time because even after you lose the weight that you want to lose, you have to keep these good practices up in order to not gain the weight back. Like you need to continue to exercise for 30 minutes or more every day. You need to put the right amount of food on your plate. Now, for me, I'm not somebody that can eat snacks. Otherwise, I will gain weight. So I eat 3 meals a day, 3 normal size meals a day. Do I get hungry sometimes? Yeah, sometimes I get hungry. But if I do that, then I just try to drink more water. That's another thing. Make sure you drink plenty of water to flush the toxins out of your system because as you lose weight, the things that are inside your body that are in your fat are going to break down and it's going to get in your system, and by drinking water it will help flush it out because it can actually make you feel sick. I remember years ago when I first met my husband, he was very overweight and he lost a lot of weight in a short amount of time and he actually felt sick when he was losing the weight because of all the crap that was breaking down and going into his system. So make sure you drink plenty of water. Now, I love tea and coffee. And what I have done is I very rarely drink coffee now because I like coffee with cream and sugar in it, and I can't do that. So now if I drink coffee, I drink it black with no sugar, and it just doesn't taste good to me. So I pretty much just drink tea now. So I drink water and I drink tea, and I make sure that I don't go crazy with the tea because I love it. And I've talked about this in my food videos. If you want more information about everything that I'm talking about, watch my food videos. There's a playlist on my channel about specific things that I eat and drink. So if you want like product recommendations, then check out those videos. But yeah, make sure you drink plenty of water. They tell everybody to drink 8 ounce glasses of water, but I don't know that that's really possible unless it's really hot outside. So drink as much water as you can. I just always keep a bottle of water um, with me at all times. If I'm going somewhere in the car, I just bring like a little cooler with an ice pack in it and put my water in there because when I get out of the store or wherever I'm going, running errands, whatever, I want to be able to, drink some of my water because shopping makes you thirsty. No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, I'm not kidding. It does. But anyways, yeah, drink plenty of water. But as far as food goes, a typical day for me, food-wise, would be I when I get up in the morning, I measure out some cereal. Now, when I first started on this weight loss journey, I was eating oatmeal, cooked oatmeal, and then doctoring it up by putting fruit and nuts in it. But it got boring after a while eating the same thing every day, so then I switched to overnight oats, which is delicious, and you can make it the night before and put it in the refrigerator, and then it's all ready in the morning. But now we're going to be going into colder weather, so I don't know that you want to get up in the morning and eat something really cold out of the refrigerator when we're going into fall, when we are in fall. Um, but even that got boring after a while. So now what I did was I'm trying to pick out healthy cereals, and I just eat like regular cereal from a box. And what I do is I put like a serving of non-fat, organic Greek yogurt in there, and I mix in like a very small handful of nuts and just mix it all together and eat it like that. And let me give you some examples of some cereals that I buy. I saved the bags just in case I ever did this video. Okay, this is a good one. Cascadian Farm, no added sugar, blueberry vanilla. This is absolutely delicious. And they consider a serving size to be half a cup. So I would do half a cup of cereal, and then I would do half a cup of yogurt, or maybe even a little bit more, and just mix it up. And then I would add just a few walnuts. Walnuts are very good for you. And what's great about this is it's whole grain and there's no added sugar. So, sugar can really sabotage your diet when you're trying to lose weight, and sugar's really bad for you. So try to remove sugar from your diet as much as possible. Now, this one is Purely Elizabeth Vanilla Chocolate Chip, made with organic oats and non-GMO certified. Now, this does have organic coconut sugar in it, which I don't feel like that's as bad for you as regular sugar, but it is still sugar, so it's up to you whether or not you want something like that. It's very, very hard to find cereal that's just on the shelf at the supermarkets that doesn't have sugar in it. So, read your labels, see how many grams are in there. This one has 7 grams, which isn't a lot. Anything in the single digits is not a lot of sugar, but anything that's like, I don't know, you'd have to look up the specific number about what is considered acceptable, but yeah, just keep an eye on the sugar. Now that would be what I would have for breakfast. And some days I will eat a banana with that, but not every day. And I wouldn't recommend doing that if you're trying to lose weight, like I'm trying to maintain my weight now. So I like to do that just for the potassium. But yeah, fruit can be tricky. You don't want to eat too much fruit because it'll make it impossible for you to lose weight, because your body sees fruit as sugar and will react accordingly. So watch how much fruit you eat. I would say no more than once a day is a good guideline. If you're on a maintenance plan, that's a different story though. I think you can get away with a little bit more fruit if you're just trying to maintain your weight. But that would be a typical breakfast for me. And now you might be thinking, well, what about eggs? Well, I love eggs and they're very good for you. It's a great source of protein. So what I like to do is I usually have a typical like egg breakfast sort of meal as either lunch or supper. And what I like to do is I like to stir fry some power greens. What are power greens? Power greens are a combination of dark leafy vegetables. It's kale, Swiss chard, spinach, and arugula. And you can find these at pretty much any grocery store. Some stores call them power greens, some call them super greens, and it's just a mixture of all these dark leafy green vegetables. And I just throw those in a pan with a little bit of heated oil. I use coconut oil, but olive oil is a good choice too. Be careful with your oils because there's a lot of unhealthy oils out there. So I stir fry some dark leafy greens, like just maybe a handful. And I also put cumin seeds because I love the taste of cumin. I used to be really big into Indian food, but it's fattening and it's hard to do portion control with that. So yeah, I put some cumin seeds in the oil, heat it up, throw the power greens in, stir fry those for a couple of minutes. Then I scramble a couple of eggs in a bowl and add that and make an omelet. Then after I flip the omelet, I put some plant-based cheese on there, just a little bit, just, like maybe a tablespoon. And then I toast a couple of pieces of whole grain bread and I eat like an omelet sandwich. Now, I also throw in a little bit of turmeric because I love that too, and that's very good for you, especially for somebody like me who's had a stroke. It can actually, some people think that it can repair brain cells, which is amazing. But, I don't think that's been proven scientifically, but there's a lot of research about that shows that it can help with that. So, yeah, I put some turmeric in there. And so that would be like a lunch or a supper. Now, another thing that I like to eat for a meal is avocado. I mash up an avocado with just a capful of lime juice and then toast a couple of pieces of whole grain bread and put mustard on it. And then I put some raw power greens on top of the avocado and I eat like a avocado mustard power green sandwich. I'm really into whole grain breads. I do occasionally eat rice. I have brown rice, whole grain organic brown rice. As a matter of fact, I just found a recipe for rice pilaf and they said you could use brown rice, and I'm going to try making that soon and grill some fish and have grilled fish and rice pilaf made with brown rice. So I can't wait to see how that works out because I just bought a little box of orzo, and one of the things that it called for an ingredient was chicken stock. Now, believe it or not, there is a brand called Kitchen Basics that is no salt stocks to make soups or recipes with. I couldn't believe it that this even existed because if you've ever looked at the nutrition label on stocks for making soup, usually it's off the charts amounts of salt. But yeah, salt is going to make your blood pressure go through the roof and it's going to make you retain water and make it harder to lose weight. So yeah, read your labels for sure. But anyways, yeah, so I bought a box of no salt chicken stock by Kitchen Basics, and I'm going to try making rice pilaf for the first time. I've had that at restaurants, of course, but I have never made it at home, so I can't wait to try that. I'm going to have that with some grilled fish. I have a George Foreman grill, and that is really great for grilling without adding any fat. And depending on what type of fish you buy, certain kinds of fish grill better than others. You want something with a firmer flesh so it doesn't fall apart. But that would be another meal that would be like a typical meal for me. And sometimes I'll make like a tuna sandwich. And what I do is I take a little bit of my non-fat organic Greek yogurt and mix that into the tuna, put some power greens on top, toast a couple of pieces of bread, and have a tuna sandwich that way. When it comes to protein, I mainly stick to fish and eggs. I don't really eat beef, pork, or poultry because did you know that the food industry injects chicken with salt solution? Yes, if you look at the labels at the supermarket, and they do it to all the brands, it'll say added flavoring. And what that is salt solution. So the amount of salt that is in processed chicken is unbelievable. So yeah, I don't do chicken anymore either. Um, so these are just some examples of the type of thing that I eat, but 3 meals a day, no snacks, and 30 minutes plus exercise every day. Outside is best because you're getting fresh air and sunshine, and I like to observe nature. Like on my walk are a couple of small ponds, and sometimes you can hear frogs and you can see fish, and that makes it a lot more fun to go for a walk. But anyways, I can't wait until the leaves start changing color and falling off the trees, and as I'm walking, I hear the crunch crunch of leaves. But anyways, this video has gone on for a long time, but this was what I've been doing, and now I'm just trying to maintain my weight. I still weigh myself every day. I still take my blood pressure every day just to kind of monitor it, and that's what I've done to lose weight. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Bye.